Good morning, everyone. How are you this morning? I am running behind. It's after 10 o'clock and it's another Postscript Saturday. And I'm so excited to be here with you this morning, and I am delayed. Usually I pop in between 8:45 and 9:15, like that little morning blooming time when you're having your coffee and getting your day started on a Saturday. And today I'm a little delayed. I've been on the phone. I was kind of easing into my morning. It happens to be my birthday. And so I took a little extra me time this morning before coming to you live from my home in Northern Virginia. And Postscript Saturday is all about a little PS to our real estate week. And this month I am dedicating the month to sharing and informing, educating about the shifts and changes that are happening in the real estate industry. Excuse me, I'm going to turn down my volume here on my computer. I have my computer on because I have a couple things I'm going to be looking at when I'm sharing with you today. And before I get into today's topic, I wanted to say I'm so grateful to all my friends and family, clients, dear clients that reached out to me this week, wishing me a happy birthday. A lot of people know I've actually taken a staycation because I was having a few issues. So really appreciate everyone's love, care, and support. It means the world to me. So thank you. And in terms of today's topic, it's interesting because just before I got on this morning, I got some very important emails from my broker about some more forms that are coming. So when I share with you about what is going on here and what's the real issue or what's the real changes and whatnot, I just want to let you know that we are really actively, proactively, learning as quickly as we can, best business practices, best ways to approach these changes, depending on who we're working with and for. What does it mean for a seller? What does it mean for a buyer? So we are on top of it, okay? And I have a great company, Keller Williams, and my broker. So we really are on top of it. I will say, however, that, things are going to shift and change while we're going through the change, right? And what is the change? And also last week I disclosed I'm not an attorney, I'm not a certified teacher, I'm a realtor, 35 years in the business, and just sharing with you what I am learning along the way here. So let me begin by saying last week I gave you the history. So where are we today? Where we are today in August of 2024, August 10th, is in a few weeks, there's going to be a real change in how we are going to learn about whether or not a seller is going to be paying for a broker side of the compensation, the buyer broker side of the compensation. So what I mean by this is, well, first of all, let me backtrack. There's a lot of news out there. There's a lot on social media. There's a lot of articles that say things like, oh, now the seller doesn't have to pay X amount of commission, or now the seller doesn't have to pay the buyer broker's commission. So I want to let you know the seller never ever had to pay anything. It's always been negotiable, and your realtor should be having those type of discussions with you in the past, and they will need to have that discussion with you now that you understand the full scope of compensation and what it means and how it gets divided, and you make the decision as a seller as to what you would like to do. You're going to have conversation with your realtor as to what you want as a seller moving forward. That's really the nuts and bolts. It's having a conversation with a seller, and having discussions around what is going to be best for the seller. Okay, when you're right now, I'm talking about the listing side. Okay, so before in our agreements, we had a section where it was filled with blanks, right? And we would fill out that compensation amount, and it was called co-op compensation. So you and your realtor would figure out the total amount of compensation, and then you'd have a discussion as to how you wanted that divvied up if a buyer broker came and brought you an offer. And that amount that you agreed to was disclosed in what is called our multiple listing service, the MLS printout of your listing. It would be there that the seller is offering to pay, the listing broker and the seller is offering to pay a buyer co-op compensation. As of August 17th, that is going by the wayside. We will no longer see that amount that is offered to the co-op agent in an MLS. So if I am a buyer broker and I want to show a house, I will have to be calling the agent to see if the seller is going to be paying a buyer's side of the commission, and if it's being offered and it's negotiable, as well as if the seller is going to be paying any sort of seller subsidy, buyer subsidy. Sorry. So those things now in our listing agreements are spelled out. There's a paragraph 6 that says listing broker compensation. It also says listing broker compensation and buyer broker compensation are fully negotiable and are not fixed, controlled, recommended, or suggested by law or any multiple listing service. So it's very clear what the listing side is going to be. And then we have paragraphs 7 and 8 where a seller decides if they want to pay seller paid buyer's broker compensation or seller subsidy. So these are big changes in our industry. It's more spelled out. There's going to be a lot more discussion around it as a client-realtor relationship. And it's just really important that you understand the nuances and the difference of where we were and where we are right now. And I will continue to update you on forms or changes that are being made around this. I feel very strongly that, again, although what you're reading online and in the papers and whatnot, there's a lot of misinformation. This has always been negotiable, and the main difference now is that there'll be like clarity as to how the seller wants to pay compensation and who and where it's going to go. It's just going to be more clear. Okay. So anyways, that is it. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. I will definitely be there next Saturday, right around that 9 o'clock hour. Sorry for my delay. And I'm going to go out and get some exercise. I'm going to go spend some time with family today, and really looking forward to the day. And certainly, again, thank you so much to everyone. Really appreciate you, and have a wonderful week. And in the meantime, thumbs up, lots of love, and keep smiling, okay? All right, everyone.